Hello, and welcome to At Home with Lucas. So today we're going to be talking about Barista Warrior once more. We're going to talk about their pink salt coffee. Yes, this is a dark roast. I did a full review on this channel already where I did a pour over, I gave it a star rating, did the whole shebang, did the hands-on, the sip test, all that. So if you want to watch that first, go ahead and click the link down below, take a look at that. But in this video, we're going to be doing another sip test. Yes, people, I had this bag of beans laying around and I thought, you know what? Let's try it in the French press. So in this video, we grind up the beans once more in the hand crank grinder. We grind it to coarse grind. That is perfect for the French press. After that, we pour those grounds into the French press and then brew up a nice hot cup of coffee. And then we kind of do a sip review slash talk. We just kind of talk about what I'm experiencing. It's not really going to get a star rating because this is kind of just another way to brew up coffee and a fun way to talk about coffee. So that's kind of what we're going to be doing in this video. And then we'll talk about whether this is a daily, weekly, monthly, or never consumption way of drinking the coffee. Maybe French press is not the way for the salted coffee. Maybe it's the only way. You'll have to watch to find out. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, let's get into this pink coffee, people. So this review came about because I bought a bag of Lavazza beans and they messed with my system and I cannot drink them, and I'm kind of scrambling to find out what coffee I have laying around. Also, if you hear my daughter, she is extremely loud right now. I scrambled to find what beans I had sitting around the house, what coffee I had sitting around the house, and I've slowly gone through all of the coffee, and now I'm back to my salted coffee right here. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to pull out this French press that I've only used once before, and I'm going to put together a little video for you guys. So hopefully my daughter is not too noisy. So here we go. We're gonna load up the hand crank grinder. She's never really this loud. This is kind of funny. It's like she knows there is audio being recorded and she has to be heard. All right, so here's the first look. So we're doing a coarse grind, of course. For the French press, you do not want to go medium or fine. You will end up with some cloggage and not very good coffee. So here we go. We're going to dump it all in there. We're just doing this a little willy-nilly. We're not really paying attention to how much we're doing to coffee to water ratio, which could bite us in the end, but who cares? We're having fun. So here we go. We got a little half full. That was basically what the entire hopper could hold, 1.5. So we're going to dump that in there as well, and then we're going to get the coffee heated up. So this is a really fun video for me. Hopefully you guys aren't super annoyed by it, but I just like spontaneous videos sometimes where I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to make coffee, so I'm also going to film it and do it in a way that I haven't done on this channel. I've never put this coffee into a French press. I really don't use French press that often, and I need to get a really good one. This one was a cheap one, and it was an Amazon, recommended 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and I never really used it. I bought it because it was small, and I thought, oh, that's nice. My other one was huge. It was like for a family, and this one is like you could do 12 fluid ounces very easily. So I'm trying to get to the 12 fluid ounce mark right here. I want the grounds to be above the 12. There we go. So they're right above the 12. So that's telling me I have roughly 12 to 13 ounces of water. Once again, have no idea the water coffee ratio, so we're just doing this willy-nilly. But of course, we're going to put the top on it and then set the timer for 5 minutes. That way you can get the best taste for your French press. Ding, ding, ding. All right, so we're going to slowly push it down, and I start to notice there's beautiful looking coffee in here. Like, I am thoroughly impressed by the look of this coffee right now, and the taste, of course, is yet to come. But look at that. You got that frothy crema-like appearance on the top. It looks like a giant espresso. Exactly what you'd want to see, but that does not mean that you're going to get something amazing. That just means that something good happened in this portion. So here we go. We have our clear glass cup right here. I chose the clear glass because I really wanted to see everything that's going on with this. I wanted to get a good idea visually of what I'm going to be consuming. And you can see it's kind of cloudy. It's a very cloudy looking drink for sure. But it looks delicious. It looks like a very yum cup of coffee. All right, so you want to sip your coffee between 130 and 140. I say optimal sip is 132. So let it cool to 140 and enjoy a cup of coffee like never before, people.
Hey, what's up guys? I want to talk about a sponsor that I have for this channel, Don Pablo Coffee. Yes, people, Don Pablo makes an amazing variety of coffee. I actually went down to Miami, Florida and modeled for his bourbon infused coffee. Yes, people, they have bourbon infused coffee. This is coffee for the people who don't even like to drink coffee. This is coffee for people who love to drink coffee but are bored of the normal coffees. They have single serve bourbon infused coffee. They have whole bean bourbon infused coffee, not to mention all the other varieties they have. They are a small batch coffee roaster. Now you're probably thinking, what does that mean? What does it mean? I'm going to tell you. A small batch means you're going to get a fresher bean. Yes, people, everything they roast is roasted smaller, which means you're getting a fresher batch. All the other companies roast in ginormous roasting contraptions, and that means you're getting it less of a fresh batch. So click the link down below, go buy some amazing coffee, and let's get back to the video. All right, let's get into this sip test, people. Woo! So excited. This looks absolutely amazing. I have not made a French press in probably a full year at this point, so I am super excited. I hope I did everything correctly. Coarse grind, coffee to water ratio. I don't know exactly what I did. I just threw those grounds in there and boom, ski, I was off to the races. The aroma is very, very nice. It's a little bit bitter and a little bit watery. That's kind of the smell that's coming off of it. But nonetheless, it looks delectable. So let's get into this, people. Woo! Wow. Whoa. Okay. All right, that is a flavor explosion. Just boom, right into your mouth. Holy bejesus, people. Okay, so you're getting like this bittersweet, smoky, sort of nutty, earthy, delectable taste. And then you have this like overall like coating of salt. So it's like a sweet, good, salty taste. But it's not, it's more like ocean than it is anything else, if that makes any sense. If you've ever been in the ocean and you got a little bit of water in the mouth, that's kind of what it tastes like. It's not a bad hit. But the very first taste you get is a combination. It's very, very interesting. It's very strong and very punchy with this sort of earthy taste to it, and that's probably due to the fact there's more sediment in here than in a pour over or in an AeroPress or any other handmade way. This is probably the most sediment you're going to get because there is no actual filter, and the filter that's on there is not the finest of the fine. I think it has 3 filters, so it has like a coarse, a fine, and then an extra fine filter. I may show you guys right now a little image of that that French press, so you can see the filter setup. Wow. Yeah, that is definitely different than anything I've had in quite some time. When you add salt to coffee, it completely changes the flavor profile. It's unbelievable. Of course, click the link down below to watch the full review on this pink salt Barista Warrior coffee, people. I'm very impressed by the color tones of this. The color tones exactly what you'd want them to be. The taste, the smell, everything is just like a little bit different. So this may not be the coffee you wake up to. This may not be the coffee that you're dying to get your hands on, but it is going to be the coffee you break out when you have people over. It's going to be the coffee that you have, maybe at noon when you're bored of the coffee you've been drinking. You're like, this coffee's getting boring. Pull this out, have a cup of this, enjoy it, change up your norm, people. That's what I'm all about lately, is just buy some coffee that's a little bit different. That's why I recommend that Don Pablo coffee right back there, as you already probably saw the ad. Definitely recommend you breaking up the norm, get some coffee in your system that's different, go back to your favorite coffee and learn to love it even more because you had something that's polar opposite. Wow. Yeah, that is a very nice cup of coffee. It's got that like thickness to it, yet it has a good flow. So it flows into the back of your throat really easily. It's not too abrasive. It's not too thick, not too thin. It's right there in the middle. Yeah, definitely a lot of sediment. So of course, if you're going to be doing this in a French press, it's going to come down to your particular French press. If it has a better filter system than mine, you're probably gonna have less sediment, whereas mine has a lot more sediment. I can actually see it floating around as I'm drinking it, which is not necessarily a bad thing. French press is designed to be a little bit more earthy, a little bit more natural, if you will. It's almost the most natural, probably the oldest way of making coffee, just literally pouring hot water in and then pushing the grounds to the side, if you will, and then pouring it into your cup. Back then, they didn't have a filter. They just pushed it to the side, poured it in their cup, and drank it. I mean, if you go all the way back to the beginning, humans just chewed on the coffee bean because the goats were eating it and getting super hyper. So the farmers were like, man, maybe if I pop that in my mouth, chew on it, I'll get hyper. Sure enough, they did. And then they started to put it into their teas, and that's how coffee was invented, people. Thankfully, we're so thankful to the goats. Those are very smart goats. Wow. Yeah. I'm not going to say this is my favorite cup of coffee. I'm not going to say that the French press is better than the pour over. So I'm going to say that if you are debating between doing this in the French press or doing this in the pour over, I would probably lean a little bit more to the pour over. You're going to get a more accurate taste. You're going to get a more accurate cup of coffee. But if you want to try the French press and you want to have something a little bit different to break up your day, definitely pull out the French press, brew it up. Of course, I could change my coffee to water ratio. I did it in the hand crank grinder. That's not the best. If you break it down in a nice, good coffee grinder with a lot of burrs, you're going to end up with a better cup of coffee. So there are ways to boost your French press and enjoy it that much more. This is not the best on the market, but it's definitely good and it's really fun. I enjoy making coffee different ways. It kind of breaks up the norm, as I've been saying the entire time. But yeah, definitely enjoyable, definitely worth your money. If you want to try this at home, just put a little tiny pinch. I'm talking like just the smallest amount of salt in the bottom of your cup. Brew your coffee onto it. If you have the ability, you want to actually put that little pinch of salt into your pour over, like on the top. And as you pour your water, you let that coffee and salt kind of mix together and brew together. And then you get a really good cup of coffee. If you have a K-cup, you can put it in your Keurig, close the lid, puncture the hole, open it really quickly, don't start the water, and sprinkle that salt right into your K-cup, and then close the lid once more, and you can brew up that salt and coffee and make a nice cup of coffee. And you can pretty much see where I'm going with this. You can do it in the French press, sprinkle a little bit of salt. If you have an AeroPress, sprinkle a little bit of salt. So it's really easy once you get into it. Of course, if you have like a super automatic where you put the beans in the top and it does everything for you, you're gonna have to sprinkle the salt at the bottom of your cup and let it brew hot coffee onto it, and it's gonna work. It's just not gonna be the same. But yeah, this is definitely high sediment. That French press is not the best in the world, and it's enjoyable though. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. All right, there you go. That's the Barista Warrior Pink Salted Coffee. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely clickety-clack that like button. And if you want to join the At Home with Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button. Every time I get a subscriber, I get a boost to make more and more videos, and it's because of you guys I surpassed 3K. So thankful, so appreciative, but I'm on my way to 4K. Yes, people, we're going there. You're gonna help me. So tell your friends, tell your family, this guy's on YouTube. They should go subscribe and watch my channel. But as always, I thank you for watching each and every one of my videos, and I will catch you, yeah, you, right there, in the next one. Bye-bye.